And welcome! These are horse racing selections for Tuesday, the 30th of July. I am Flatcap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Galway Festival Day 2, Goodwood Festival Day 1 is where we're at. I'll keep saying them over and over again and I'll probably get it right about 50% of the time. If I get the horses right 50% of the time, I'll be delighted. But we had a fairly inauspicious start to week, well, day 1 of the 7 days at Galway. 1 placed out of 7, decidedly ropey. We had one out of the placing, so that would have been 2 out of 7, but still wouldn't have turned us any cash back. So it was a straight £10 loss. That's a review, by the way. That was the bet from the day before. Ran with credit, I think you'd probably say. It wasn't actually a million miles away, and drifted to like 80 to 1. 1 out the placings, that placed, and that one's something went a bit awry with it. Very strange betting activity on that race as well. Some of those right shortened up, and then some of them got bigger, and then before they got to the off, they all kind of went off more in line with how they started. It was very strange. And here we were a bit of a write-off. Always a bit of a risk when you've got amateur jockey races, but I felt I had enough angles on there that it was worth a shot in there, but no good. I mean, that was a well-backed favourite and was well down. So that was it. 10 on, nothing back. So for this vid, we've got a £26 staking plan that will go down in the channel's name. 3 bets, a Goodwood Yankee. We've then got a Goodwood Galway combination double bet, which is probably the main bet in terms of my preferred 2 races. And then we've got at Galway, the last 3, the big handicaps. We've got a double treble combination bet, win doubles, each way trebles is how we're playing it. So stay with me. For those of you who just like a straight up 2 horses, I'm not your gig, all right? you can stay longer. I mean, you're all welcome, but yeah, for those folk who go, can you just give me your best horse? That is not what this week's about. When I come back in September, I'll probably be more of a kid and being able to do that. As far as this week goes, I mean, there's a little bit of a lead in some of the staking plan today, but that's not what I'm about. So yeah, that won't happen. And one bet, there's more to go out on Tuesday. I would say as well, I mean, Goodwood is, I think, better on Tuesday than Wednesday for what my style of betting. So I'm expecting when I get to Wednesday to be much more leaning on Galway. Although the worry there is they've got some big old fields, unless some come out, particularly some of those jumps races. So we'll see. There's looking like 20 plus horses in a start again. Races with more than 20 horses in, right? So really on some of these big fields, I like it more about the 18, 19 mark to play with. When you start getting in 22, 23, you just got just a little bit less in your favour from an odds perspective. So yeah, got to go through the bets. I was going to give you some Goodwood stats. What have we got here? So last year, Goodwood put out 38 selections, 12 plus framed, including 2 nice winners. We had 2 nice winners. I think they're both 25 to 1 actually. Johan and there was another one. Completely escaped me. A couple of winners, nice winners. But 12 out of 38, so we got 32% strike rate, which was probably mildly above average, really, for what I'm trying to do. So not necessarily average against the average punter with the prices I'm using, but mildly above average. And on day 1 last year, we only hit 2 out of 10. So I've only put up, well, actually, no, there's 3. There's a couple in that race. So yeah, it's about 7 or 8 on the first day. So I'm not doing 10. Previous year, what did we do? We had 38 selections and 18 framers. So yeah, year 1 of doing the channel 2022, same amount of selections. There's 38 across the 5 days of Goodwood, but 18 framed. And we had 2 nice winners there as well. So we had 25s and 20s. But it was a 47% strike rate, and particularly good. It was the first year we had on the second day of Goodwood, first day of Galway, we hit 6 out of 8 framers at Goodwood, including a nice winner, and at Galway it was 7 out of 11, including a nice winner. So it was 13 out of 19 horses, most of which were at least double figure prices. It was very nice that day. So yeah, overall, we are sort of, yeah, we did okay out of Goodwood, but not as much as I'd have liked to have done. But 2 out of 5 days we over-indexed, and that's what I'd kind of planned for this week. So we want to try and hit a couple of days where we get it working. Whether or not that's Tuesday on the first day, I'm not sure, because there wasn't a lot of big prices. So some of you might be a bit disappointed when I get to the Yankee and I pull out 3 horses that aren't even double figure prices. But that is where I'm at. So I'll kind of talk you through bits and bobs as I go through. But before I get into bets, the last thing I was going to just say is thank you for all the support. It's been ace. Just bowled over by the amount of people that commented, liked the video. Subscribers was nuts. So just before I went on my break, I was a little bit short of 4,000. And if you've been watching the channel a long time, it's not like I'm chasing figures or numbers or whatever. Like when I started, I was happy 50 people were watching the video. But just under 4,000 when I went on the break. And then I've come back a couple of times, done a video, got about 10 subscribers, and it goes back down again. So I've picked up nearly 60 in the last 24 hours, which is ridiculous. So I've reached the 4,000 subscriber mark. Woohoo! That sort of milestone that doesn't mean anything, but there you go. It's nice to signify when you get to a certain amount. I doubt I'd ever get to 5,000, to be fair, but I'll take 4,000. That's 3,950 more than I thought I'd get to when I started. So hopefully this week we can have something to cheer about, because it was pretty thin on the ground on day one. Only 2 races to play with, whereas we've got 7 races, 4 at Goodwood, 3 at Galway. So that is what we got. Right. Okay. There's your waffle. 7 minutes? There you go. 3 minutes quicker than last night. That's better, isn't it? Goodwood. This is the Goodwood bet. So I'll talk you through bet 1. 750 is the stake. 150. This is my preferred race. I've got a few in the combination double in here. And my lean is Tony Montana. I've been following the horse most this season. It won. Not say it didn't win. It ran really, really well last time at a nice price. It's been shortened a little bit since markets were sort of, when I was looking at them about 5 o'clock, thinking I might be able to get a sort of tea time video out, but it's been trimmed a bit. But I'm still okay with 8-1. The 410. I've had a right debate on this race, because again the market's shortened a bit, and I think the market at the moment has the right 3 at the front, which is it Fairwind, JM Jungle, and Lord Ridderford. Lord Ridderford's got a lot of previous at Goodwood, but they're just a bit short, and if any of them were to get a bit bigger, so any of them were to go sort of 5-1 plus before the race, I'd be interested a little bit more. But they're all about 3-4, and it was just a bit short for me to put in this bet. So I've gone for Miss Attitude, which is Jack Shannon horse, won for me last year with Johan. I know there's some Jack Shannon fans out there on YouTube. There absolutely is. He has, to be fair, he's having a very good season. So he's doing well since he took over full time from his dad. But it's interesting, this horse. It's not a horse that's sort of, it's not been laid out to run well at Glorious Goodwood. It only ran on the Racing League last Thursday at Yarmouth and ran a decent race to come 3rd from off the pace. And yeah, I think it's still got improvingness going in it. It missed a whole season last season, and they're running it in quite quick succession. But you can kind of get away with that sometimes with sprinters. If they're fit, and they can take their running. So got no problems there. It's never run at Goodwood before, so there's a little question mark on that one for me. Franny Norton's put back on it, and he won on it when it won at Haydock, I believe. I think I seems to remember. If I get some of this stuff wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. But yeah, I think Franny Norton won on him. Haydock's back on him again now. Other people have been riding in between. I think Sylvester de Souza ran the Racing League, and Charlie Bishop might have run him. Anywho, so yeah, I think actually from a horse in form to take on those front 3 in the market that do have the kind of the obvious chances, I would say, from some of them are Goodwood specialists, but also in form. This horse is well in form. So outside of the fact it's not run at Goodwood, well, not. I think maybe it possibly maybe it did it. did it like first time out, like soft growing on a maiden. That seems to remember something in my form reading, but not properly. So that's in. And then 520 Queen's Reign 8s, 555 Executive Decision 13-2. So by my standards, it's short. For a lot of people, this would be a regular run-of-the-mill bet. I do it on here as a Yankee. That's because I'm not taking any benefit from a Lucky 15. So if you're doing this on the day and you're using Betfred or Bet365, where you get a bonus for one winner on your Lucky 15 or a bonus for all winners, you knock yourself out, shove it as a Lucky 15 because it will work out better. For what I'm doing, I've done it as a 25p each way Yankee. So Yankee is a Lucky 15 without singles. I've done separate singles, win only. They're not worth my while for what I'm doing here to be doing each ways at those sort of prices and these sort of stakes. So 4 times 50p win singles on the 4 of them, 25p each way Yankee. Sky I think they're one extra place better on all those races at Goodwood. So big advantage if you're using a Sky Bet account. So that would always be recommended. Get an extra place, like why wouldn't you use that if you have it? But I appreciate there's lots of folk out there that Sky Bet's been and gone for them in their betting lives. So that's bet 1. That's the Goodwood bet. Okay, bet 2. Here's my combination double bet. So the 150 Goodwood got Tony Montana. I'm going to go with Stay Well in there, and then Tracker Time. Just there's something a little bit sneaky. It's not from a form perspective. It'd be hard to find that horse. But yeah, I did just little spidey sense. It's the right type. So this is Fritty Hay who owns it. Loves a winner at Glorious Goodwood. Usually has a few every year, and sometimes finds horses. I think that may well be a Glorious Goodwood type of horse. So wanted to keep that one in with the other two that are a little bit more obvious. 7-10. So this race. Those of you remember from the last couple of years, we've talked about how Ado McGuinness dominates this race. So last year, I think he had 2 or 3 in the top 6. The year before, 3 in the top 6. And the previous 3 years, he won it. And most of the horses we're talking about are still the same horses in the same ownership, knocking about. And he's only got 2 left that are in this one, Current Option and Casanova. So there's no way I was leaving them out. They're absolutely the types that have not run optimum or to their best yet this season potentially, and are being saved for Galway. If you look through the history of these sorts of horses, they're often trained to peak at Galway Festival. This is an Ado McGuinness type of race. He's definitely got less ammo this year, but I want to keep them both on side. Current Option would be my lean. Even if they were the same price, it still would be my lean. The worry I've got with this race is my read of it, if you look through the history, is very favourable on a high draw. Current Option's the high draw, Casanova low draw, and the other two I've got in there, Blues Emperor low draw, Bill Silver's middle draw. So I've got spread my bases from a draw perspective, but it'll be a good learning day for both meetings to see where there is a draw bias, if any. But the race historically has been dominated by high draws, and I'm sat with only one in there. So yeah, if the high draw wins, we're hoping Current Option gets there. If it's a bit more of a mixed bag in the frame, then we've got some other bits covered in there. Bill Silver's interesting one, not long been trained in Ireland, and the trainer had a nice framer on Monday already at Galway. So I wanted to keep that one in. That was in there before that happened, to be fair. But so the bet is 12 times 25p each way doubles, the same as Monday. So we're going 12 combinations, that's £6 in total. And then we've got 50p each way singles on the 233 to 1 shots, Tracker Time and Bill Silver's. Sky are preferable because Sky are an extra place on this one. Sky and Paddy are both 6 on this one. So for the channel, all I'm taking is 5 and 5, unless there's any kind of non-runners, I'll drop it down. But if you're playing the accounts, Sky, 6 and 6, Paddy 5 and 6. So they are your better 2 bookmakers. Generally speaking, for Tuesday, if you're going to avoid a bookmaker, Ladbrokes and Corals are 4 on a couple of these big fielders, where most other bookies are 5. So just be a bit mindful, particularly for like a shot punter. Corals do you over left, right and centre in shop. They're not even always the same place terms as they are online. So yeah, your online accounts generally are always going to be better. So your Skies and your Paddies, and then you know that others like 365, Betfred are pretty solid with favourable place terms. Okay, the last bet. This is a complicated one for some. Some will be fine. This is simple for them, but we'll go through this. So, Galway 710. So I'm going with the McGuinness horses. They are my lean, not just because they're McGuinness horses, but they are my lean in terms of being trained to do well in this particular race. Then we've got the 745. We've got 3 in there. So we've got Shao Amek 16s, old one but a good one hopefully. Free solo at 10s, and then Excusio Joe, who had gone back to the original trainer. I think it's Matthew Smith, and I think he did have a winner already at Galway on Monday. I think he had a winner already on Monday, and does have a bit of a pop at a few here. So it's interesting. It's gone back to him. So I think it's overpriced for where it was historically. It's not overpriced for the recent form. Then we've got 8:15 Clear Quartz, which is a bit of a lean horse in this bet, and then Arch Enemy. So if you put those 7 in your bet slip, it gives you 16 possible combinations of doubles. So for the purpose of the channel, 20p win doubles. So that's £3.20 for that bit. And then it gives you 12 possible combinations of treble. So we've got 12 times 20p each way trebles, which is £4.80. So £8 total for the combination bet. So 16 doubles, 12 trebles. The key bit here is the way I've done it for the channel: win doubles, each way trebles. So yeah, if we happen to get a couple in each one place in, but none in the other leg, that is kind of worst case scenario for a good result without a nice return. I'm taking that risk. If you want to do each way doubles as well, I didn't want to basically bump the stake up too much for the bet. And then the complicated bit on top of that is we've got 2 50p each way singles. So we've got an Excusio Joe at 33s and Clear Quartz at 20. They're both 50p each way singles. But I've also got an each way double on Clear Quartz again. So we've got involved in both extra bits, but also Shower Mech. So my 25p each way double on the 2 slightly bigger, well, not necessarily even the biggest prices, but on there. So basically, if this first leg goes down, there's a little bit of an interest from a place perspective in there as well. So that sort of just gives a little bit of a nod to where I've got slight leans on some of these selections. So it works out 10.50 overall. Sky are best, Paddy are second best, and I think that's because they're 6, 5 and 5. I think Sky might be 6 on another one of those possibly. There's one of them is a bit tight. It's only gone down to 16 runners. So the non-runner, it might go 15, and therefore there'll be a few 4 places. That's where somewhere like Bet365 that often honour the 5th place are useful. So that is Bet3. Those 3 add up to £26. It is entirely up to you what you do. I've put £26 down in the channel name on those bets. And as I've said on the previous video, I'm not taking favourable odds, so you need at least 3 major bookies to pay the odds in order for me to put the odds down there. So there's nothing stand out in there. And place terms will be settled when the race is finished, whatever the place terms were, as long as at least 3 major bookies are playing those place terms. So I'm advising Sky because they're the best bookmaker, but I'm not taking Sky places, and those aren't specifically Sky prices. Those are the average that you can get. A couple of them, there was a couple of them fall in the category of literally there is just three major bookies. Like when I say major bookies, things like Bet Victor, it's not a major bookie in my eyes. Like Sky, Paddy, 365, Betfair, Betfred, Betway I would include, Coral, Ladbrokes. Full list is in the overall description of the channel. I think I've actually listed down the major bookies that I'm applying this to. All right. I think that's it. I mean, I could waffle on and give you loads of other chitter chat, couldn't I? And some of you would like it, some of you just get irate about it. But hopefully we can pick a winner. That would be nice. Get a winner on the board. But I mean, last year, what I say, I think four winners last year. We still turned a small profit if you just solely looked at Galway Goodwood bet. So it's not about winners necessarily. Winners help along the way. What I'm about is trying to get multiple places together in bets to come out overall with a profit. All right, that's me. Enjoy the first day of glorious Goodwood. It will be very, very hot. So if you go in there, put on your sunscreen. If you're in Galway, it'll be a nice day. Less hot, but not, nice warm. I think possibly some drizzle. You never quite know. All right. I'll see you on the next one. No reason why it wouldn't be in the evening. It might be this sort of time, it might be earlier, not quite sure yet. Alright, either way, I'll see you in about 24, wow, depends on when you watch the video, 24 hours. Alright, thanks very much, bye bye.